Hey guys, it's Anthony. I wanted to make a short little video on two things that are kind of connected, as all things tend to be sometimes, always sometimes. But I wanted to talk about Calvino's Invisible Cities, which I recently read, and this book is very good, and it gave light to a film I had watched quite a while ago, but a film by Peter Greenaway, English filmmaker director, called The Falls. Of course, I highly encourage you guys to seek out both Invisible Cities by Calvino and The Falls by Greenaway. So the thing that connects these two pieces of art for me are just the way in which the diegesis, or the narrative, if you will, the narrative is told in these kind of short little incidental slices of lives or images. We'll talk about Invisible Cities first. So Invisible Cities is basically about Marco Polo and Kublai Khan, who is this leader of this great empire, and he's asking Marco Polo to go out and describe to him all the cities of his empire and the cities that he has not yet conquered, and basically enlighten him on what these places look like, and perhaps also the people that are in his empires. And so throughout Invisible Cities, we just have these very short little, not even chapters, but just short little sections where Marco Polo is basically describing to Kublai Khan these places that he knows. And then interspersed in between those, you have these sort of section markers that have Marco Polo and Kublai engaging in dialogue with one another. It's a very fun book. It's a very great book. It's very sublime in its unreality, and that's what I really love about it. And then moving on to Greenaway's The Falls. Basically, that movie is about this, what is the word he uses? It's like a unknown event. Like there's some acronym that I can't remember what it is, but it's basically some great event that has changed the course of many people's lives. And his film is basically interviews with different people whose lives have been affected by this catastrophic event. So much in the same way as Invisible Cities, The Falls is short little scenes of essentially biographies or interviews with people about their lives, and how their lives inform the viewer or the audience on the narrative and the world building of the fiction. But basically, in Invisible Cities, the reason why this is happening, that Marco Polo is sent out and Marco Polo is told to describe the worlds, the empires, and the cities that that Kublai has conquered or wishes to conquer, is because Kublai Khan knows that his time is running out. His shell is growing old, and he has no sons to sacrifice to keep his youth. And in the same way, what Greenaway is doing with The Falls is similar. He's sensing an end to the world that we live in now, and he's kind of informing the viewer on the world as we know it now and as it will be destroyed soon. And I have a book here about Greenaway. I got this from my university's library for free. Actually, they were giving away like, it's like seven books about Peter Greenaway. Nobody wants this stuff, I guess, which is sad. But anyways, here's a little section on the falls. Oh yeah, the acronym is VUE, the Violent Unknown Event. Very postmodern. Props to Greenaway for that one. But I think there's 81 characters. It's a 3-hour film. There's 81 interviews, basically 81 individual characters that create this world. And the important thing about The Falls as a film is, as Greenaway has said, and has the author, David Pascoe, has synthesized here in his novel, Peter Greenaway, Museums and Moving Images, is basically Peter Greenaway's deconstruction of a narrative, a deconstruction of world building, in a similar way that Calvino was doing it. Calvino wrote this, I believe, in the 70s. Calvino wrote Invisible Cities. The Falls is from the 90s, I believe. Although I'm pretty sure he started the film, started filming certain scenes of it way before. So it's almost happening at the same time, which is really interesting. But in essence, Greenaway's mission for The Falls, he says, quote, "It was a compendium of all the editing techniques I've learned, and also a few more I found for myself, and also all the other forms of representation vis-a-vis the visual tradition of Europe." And then Pascoe goes on to say that it implies that the filmmaker had finally accepted that the fragmentary forms of the world were ultimately unclassifiable, and so the only truth left to represent was his confession that, as the spurious inventor of self-consistent artifacts, he himself was fiction, a falsity. Basically, he's a character in the play, like Synecdoche, New York. Anyways, quote, hence the film discourses with neither its subject matter nor its authorial style, but its audience. 92 random people gathered to watch a white screen. And then eventually it goes on to talk about how Greenaway himself makes a cameo. He's one of these people affected by the violent unknown event. But anyways, you could go, this is very, surface level. I'm making some very tangential points about this, but nevertheless, I think it's pretty interesting to compare these two things, The Falls and Peter Greenaway's work, and also Invisible Cities by Calvino. There's probably some doctoral work that I am not prepared for. That's not my wheelhouse, but regardless, I just wanted to make this short little video talking about two pieces of media that, for me, coincide with each other in a very special, a very tender way. And I wanted to share that with you guys. So